And welcome back to Bay Sunday, everyone. Mark these dates down. September the 16th through October the 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. And we've got two guests celebrating from the Cine+Mas San Francisco Latino Film Festival, Executive Director Lou Ramirez and filmmaker Abby Ginsberg, who is behind the film Cruz Reynoso, Sowing the Seeds of Justice. Bienvenido.
Bienvenido.
Hola.
Thanks
Welcome
so
aboard. Welcome aboard. Lou, let's start with you. Talk about the film festival. How many countries, how many films, where can we see them, all that thing?
Right. So we kick off the weekend of September 16th, and we have 35 films in total, feature documentaries, as well as narrative fiction films. And we'll be at the Landmark Theaters, Mission Cultural Center, and a few of the universities in the Bay Area.
And a number of countries represented?
The number of countries this year is 13, so we're very, very excited about the diversity.
And Abby, your documentary, your film just fits this like a glove. Tell us about Cruz Reynoso.
The film is Cruz Reynoso, Sowing the Seeds of Justice, and it's a profile of the first Latino who was appointed by Jerry Brown the last time he was governor to the California Supreme Court. And it looks at sort of three different stories within Cruz's life. And so it's more a portrait of this person who, for me, is really, just spent his entire life committed to the fight for justice.
Okay, well, you've given us a little background. Let's take a look at a clip now from Cruz Reynoso, Sowing the Seeds of Justice.
One of the jobs of legal services lawyers is to challenge illegal laws and to challenge illegal administrative decisions that adversely affect the poor, to try to bring about some change for the poor people that really means something.
The year is 1969. Cruz Reynoso heads one of the nation's best anti-poverty programs. Reynoso is in a tight spot. On one side, his old friend, Cesar Chavez, demands that he support the movement to unionize farm workers. On the other side, Ronald Reagan, California's popular governor, attacks him as a liberal activist and threatens to cancel the program's funding.
Well, Abby, you're watching a lot of hard work. You said it took you 3 years to put this together, and getting funds to get it together, and a remarkable man that you respected and knew very well, and still know.
Well, let me just say this. Cruz Reynoso is 80 years old, and he still is feisty and upset about things that he perceives to be unjust in the world. So he's upset about things like the fact that it now costs $46,000 to go to law school in California at a public law school. He would tell you that when he went, it cost $100 a year. So he's very concerned that, California is sort of losing its edge as a leading educator of our children and helping create the next generation of advocates that he, spent so much of his time training.
And he's teaching right now at UC Davis, right? At 80?
He is teaching at UC Davis at 80 and on a number of commissions and, working very hard. So he's very impressive, and he's kind of a role model for all of us as we age.
Now you've got a law background. You're an attorney as well. And what drew you to Cruz so much?
Well, what drew me to Cruz is that I knew him, and I also knew that if I didn't make this film about him, probably nobody else would. So I sort of am looking for stories that, envelop sort of my view of the importance of the fight for social justice and enable me to kind of provide a portrait of somebody that people may not know about, but if they do find out about him, may be quite inspired. So part of my goal was, I thought his story, he came, he's one of 11 children in a farm worker family. He then becomes a California Supreme Court justice. That's potentially very inspiring to today's high school students.
The rags to riches in a big way there.
In a big way. But education is the through line.
Exactly.
It's understanding that if you stick with your education and actually use that as the basis for new opportunities, it will work.
And quickly, his reaction to the documentary?
He says he likes it.
Oh, there you go. That's a good start, huh? So the professor likes what the student has put together.
Yes, and I think, as with, many people, they're not quite sure what you're doing when you're doing it. So we have images of him on his farm and images of him with his animals, and as well as with his students and, in the courtroom. But I think he's pleased.
Now that's one film which airs tonight. Lou, tell us some of the other films quickly, if you can, that we're going to
We have a diverse lineup. One of the films we're very excited about that's also screening at the Mission Cultural Center is Following the Stars, and it's a film by Iris Dese she's originally from Germany, but she's been living in Ecuador for a long time, and it's a film about identity, indigenous caste, Spanish, and an indigenous language, so it's unusual to see these kinds of films just shown anywhere. So we're very excited that both the filmmaker is here to see that.
I got to cut you short right there, guys. Thank you so much. Lou and Abby, we so appreciate it. Cine+Mas Latino Film Festival runs now through October 15th, by the way. Thanks for watching Bay Sunday, everybody. We'll see you next time.